So it is with joy and sadness that we welcome you this afternoon to Beverly Hills Presbyterian Church. Our joy is in the celebration of the life of Katia Popov. Our grief, or our sadness, is in the grief of her passing. My hope is that you will find this sanctuary to be a safe and comfortable place to grieve and to remember. It is a space that is no stranger to Katia's music. She would often grace its congregation by playing during worship. So even as our grief is no stranger here, we are comforted that here is a place that Katia loved. Will you please pray with me? O God, who gave us birth, you are ever more ready to hear than we are to pray. You know our needs before we ask and our ignorance in the asking. Show us now your grace that as we face the mystery of death, we may see the light of eternity. Speak to us once more your solemn message of life and death. Help us to live as those who are prepared to die, and when our days are ended, enable us to die as those who go forth to live, so that living or dying our life may be in Christ Jesus, our risen Lord. Amen. I want to share with you these words. Find strength in these words from Isaiah. Have you not known, have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint and strengthens the powerless. Even youths will faint and be weary, and the young will fall exhausted. But those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up their wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And find peace in this invitation from Christ in the Gospel of Matthew. Come to me, all you who are weary and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. And finally, find hope in this testimony from the life of King David in Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long. The family of Katia Popov thanks you for being with us this afternoon. You bless us with your presence as we pause to reflect and remember the life of this woman that we have known, that we have loved, and that we now honor. We are blessed as we mourn together. And we mourn this afternoon rightly. We mourn that the blessing of the life of Katia Popov has passed much too early from us. We mourn for the resulting lack in our own lives. We mourn even for our own mortality because there is something within us that is terrified by and militates against death itself. I know that it is right to mourn. In mourning, we honor Katia. We honor the ways that she has touched our lives with her laughter, her creativity, and her soul. We honor the ways that her influence as mother, as wife, as friend has shaped our lives. We honor the ways that her music brought tears to our eyes and life to our souls. We honor the gift of Katia Popov to us. So do not be ashamed of tears. They honor Katia this afternoon. They help us to properly carry her life with us. Now, I know that Katia Popov was not a maudlin person. She was someone who loved fiercely and played the violin madly. She drank in the world with excitement and joy. Her daughter told me that she would light up a room with her laughter and her friendliness. So she probably wouldn't be all that interested in this talk of mourning and tears. She'd be more interested in each one of you. She would rather we allow the gift of her music to continue to bless us, to minister to us. When I spoke with Irina and Peter earlier last week, they talked about the ways that Katia affected us. She had a gift. She could play the violin such that the music danced from her very core to the rest of us. She played so that those who listened would be refreshed, would find a kind of a therapeutic release, that we would be blessed. She would have resonated with the 23rd Psalm, and that she would not fear the valley of darkness, because she was not easily scared. When she was on stage, she did not get nervous. She grasped the opportunity. When she was threatened, she would still work harder and harder to overcome. She was strong in mind, in character, and strong in will. And when such a woman passes, those of us who are left behind are left to wonder. Perhaps we feel the wake of her absence a bit more. So I wanted to point you gently to the 23rd Psalm this afternoon. The psalm is a testimony from a man who similarly was not easily scared. It's a writing of a man who was similarly strong in mind, character, and will. King David, who expressed himself in music as well. He wrote the 23rd Psalm, and in it, he testified to his own realization that each and every step of his life, he knew God's presence gifting him, guarding him, and freeing him to bless others. Even when he was unaware of the presence of God, it was as if he was shepherded in a place of peace. He wrote, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters." You see, David was blessed, which gave him courage to grasp the opportunities that were in front of him. But I want you to notice that it was in the difficult times of his life that the shepherd became most real to him, and we know this because the way that he speaks and the ways that his speaking changes when he talks about the valleys. It says when he reaches the darkest valleys, all of a sudden he begins speaking to God directly. "You are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Now I know of no valley deeper or darker than death. And David testifies that it's precisely in these places that he knows that he is not alone. He was not scared because his shepherd was with him. This afternoon we recognize the dark valley of death, where once Katia Popov was with us, now she is not. Even so, we are not alone. And as part of the reason we gather together, we remind ourselves that we carry this grief, the memories, the blessing of the passing of Katia Popov together. But I remind you also that even after you leave this sanctuary, these friends, even as the music is moved from your ears to simply reverberating in your souls, when you settle back into the quiet of your own thoughts and emotions, you are not alone. There's a God who provides for you. There's a God who makes himself intimately available to you. There is a God who will bear you through all things in life and in death. Now, Katia Popov was a gift. She was a gift to those who knew her intimately, who knew her laugh, who knew her passion, who knew her love. She was also a gift to thousands upon thousands of others who knew her only through her violin. But perhaps that is a misplaced word, the word only. To know her music was to get a glimpse of her. And as Irina said to me, when she played, she danced. The music moved from her soul out through her violin to us all. So for the rest of our time together this afternoon, we will be reflecting upon this gift of the life of Katia Popov. As you listen, take comfort in the gift, even as you mourn its passing. As you listen, allow yourself to feel once again the blessing of Katia upon your life. Laugh, cry, close your eyes, and listen. In the notes, Katia blesses us once again. But listen also between the notes, because there you will begin to discover, even in the silence, that there's a shepherd who upholds you, who guards you, and who walks with you.
It's so wonderful to see so many of you here today, and I know there were so many more that wanted to be here and couldn't be. But this is, although I know we're all suffering with an inconsolable grief, we have to make this a celebration, because if anything, and I really knew Katia, she would be giggling her head off to think that we're not going to be happy for her, because she was just so vibrant and so full of joy and full of life that she would have wanted us to just remember everything that was bubbly and happy about her. So I say this is a celebration, and I really mean it. I mean it. So I'm just going to relate a few things about Katia, because she was a very funny person. I was fortunate to call her a very close friend, and we were stand partners for, I would say, decades. So we knew each other very well. Now, she was a really great choice for stand partner. It had great advantages because she was not only a fabulous violinist, but she intuitively picked up on everything that was required of an assistant concertmaster, like counting bars or marking embowings while I was doing something else, like sending emails or whatever. But there was also a tremendous disadvantage to sitting with Katia, especially at the Hollywood Bowl, because whenever we stood up to take a bow, and she was wearing her 4-inch heels and looked like a supermodel, it made me look like Rumpelstiltskin. Anyway, so you all know that Katia was Bulgarian, and her sense of humor had to have come from a country where people, when they say no, they nod their head. And when they say yes, they do that. So in America, this can obviously lead to some rather bad business dealings and some unfortunate ends to dates. So she had an odd way of putting things. This is one of my favorite things because, for example, one day we were sitting together and she was on the cell phone. It was a break, don't worry. And she was inviting someone to a concert. And I heard her say, "Oh, if you can't make it, don't come." So I looked at her And I said, Katia, did you hear what you just said? And I repeated it to her, and she burst out in that unmistakable Katia shriek and laughed uncontrollably for 5 minutes. Here's another one. So we're recording a film cue, and many times the film cues that we record, they're modular, so certain cues will have similar phrases in them, and we will have done them maybe a day or two ago, and then they resurface again in another cue, but a very similar phrase. Now, we had already played this particular phrase a number of times, and I'd bowed it and articulated a certain way, but in this particular one we were recording now, it was written a little differently, and maybe it was a day or two ago, and I didn't quite remember until after we recorded it. And then the composer really liked it, and I said to Katia, God, I have to tell him that when we recorded it the other day, we did it completely differently. And she said, oh no, that will open a can of germs. So that was our Katia, huh? And then lastly, this is the other quirky thing. I mean, this was just really so touchingly cute. We all, most of us use a digital calendar, like Outlook or iCal, one of those things where you actually enter the things digitally in your phone, and it will go to your computer, and it's in the cloud and whatever. So Katia's idea of her Bulgarian, what she called her Bulgarian digital calendar, was she would write in a date book, a manual book, she'd write the dates in and everything, and then she'd put it down and take a picture of it with her iPhone. And that was the way she digitally registered her upcoming dates. So Katia, baby, you were so funny, so wonderful.
Hello, everybody. It all began with a phone call almost 30 years ago from Katia, asking me to carpool to a job in Glendale. I hardly knew her, but we drove together, and I think she liked my driving, and that's what started our friendship. We traveled together to Japan, Rio de Janeiro, skied in Mammoth, took yoga classes, and loved cooking together. The phone would ring with her happy voice, saying she was in my neighborhood, could she stop by? Yes, of course. In she would walk with that big smile and the happy voice. As excited as I was to see her each time we met, she was even more excited to see me. I couldn't figure it out, but it was her loving gift to me and just the way she was. We would have tea, tell stories with the doggies on our laps, and gossip about all our friends. Like all the greats who are the best in their fields, Katia was driven with her musical projects. We would talk about marketing strategies. Her Taneyev string quartet recording was the biggest accomplishment last year. We talked about getting reviews for the recording and how grateful she was to the musicians who played with her. There were Sunday mornings, movies with Alexander, new restaurants to try, planning parties, and how she loved to dress up. I will always remember her dancing in that yellow feathered dress. Katia had so many wonderful friends. One of them was fellow violinist Alan Grunfeld. The three of us had such fun together. She thought he was hilarious, but it was actually her infectious laugh that would crack us all up. Last year, Alan was planning a trip to Eastern Europe, and I suggested that he go to Sofia, Bulgaria, where Katia grew up, and meet her father. He did. Katia's father, Koso, didn't speak a word of English, so Katia arranged for a friend to translate. Alan visited Koso in his home. There were photos of her everywhere, and the music was piled high, just like she had left it long ago. Alan's visit helped renew the relationship between Katia and her father. After that, she talked to him more often, sent him a CD player and an iPad so he could watch all of her music videos for the first time. Then the concert was officially scheduled in Sofia for her to solo with the classic FM radio orchestra on May 30th, just last Wednesday. She was so thrilled and looking forward to finally going back for the first time since she had left in 1989. She told me that this concert was so important, but it was just one of the many musical projects she still wanted to do in her life. To be in Katia's presence was truly a gift, even during the last 2 difficult months. After she passed, it was decided that her concert would not be canceled and still go on as the memorial to her. I knew I had to go. I wanted to see where she had grown up, meet her father for myself, and be present at her concert. When I met Kotso, I found him tall and distinguished and clearly Katia's father. In his apartment, he shared family photos, paintings from Katia's youth. He helped me understand how important art was to Katia as a child. Then we walked to the concert hall and sat together. The wonderful conductor, Scott Dunn, gave a beautiful tribute to Katia, and the performance was spectacular. Afterward, there were many tears and shared remembrances by members of the orchestra who grew up with Katia and also knew her father, of course. It was truly a special night, and I was so glad I was there to still be touched by Katia's world from long ago. I want to acknowledge her family in Los Angeles, Peter, her dedicated husband of 30 years, who was her partner in raising their family, and her pillar of support, so vigilant about her medical treatments and care. She was so proud of her daughter, Irina, who inherited her mother's intelligence, drive, beauty, and is on a career path in film production. And her son, Alexander, brilliant, precocious, whose boundless energy and sweet words were so endearing to Katia. Alexander is also a skilled painter like his mother and an eloquent debater like his attorney father, and already at the age of 11, making films like his big sister. Family vacations were so enjoyed by Katia, ski trips to Mammoth, going to Hawaii, or bicycling on the beach in Venice. Katia's love was far-reaching and timeless. Her memory and beautiful music will live in us all, and her love will be in my heart forever.
I have here 3 Madeleines from Starbucks. This is what Katia subsisted on sometimes in the studio system. And occasionally I would get to a Starbucks before the session. I'd always make sure to bring her some Madeleines. So for the Popov family, there are 3 of them right here. I'm putting them right. I don't need to talk about the inspired musicality or technical prowess of Katia as a violinist. That is obvious. Katia indeed was a virtuoso, a true artist, a virtuoso of life. I first met Katia at the Japan America Theater while we were both auditioning for the LA Chamber Orchestra. She was practicing downstairs in the men's room. I guess because it was the best acoustics in the whole place, Japan America Theater. So being new to the country, her English was just a few notches down from rudimentary. Language was a challenge. I remember a few weeks later, she told me a story about how frustrated she was when she tried to order some music over the phone, how they rudely hung up on her over her pronunciation of the words sheet music. True story. Well, it was not long after that she mastered the English language. And from there, Katia proceeded on her quest to conquer the world. Let's form a string quartet, start a concert series. Let's take on the Hollywood studio recording scene. Buy a house in Beverly Hills. How about I decorate my car with huge, colorful geometric shapes? Let's do concertmaster of the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra. So Katia was a wonderful mom, wife, and friend, charming and funny, a very open, kind, and generous person to anyone. She was proud to demonstrate the grace and elegance from the old country, and yet appreciated and loved her adopted new home. And let's face it, she was stunningly gorgeous. French Vogue model and all that, a fashionista extraordinaire. And she enjoyed wearing her beauty, and we guys were okay with that. Katia Popova seemed to have a plan in life, a purpose and direction toward which she just kept motoring on effortlessly, always undaunted. And that's why I think it's so hard for some of us to accept losing her. She is the very poster child for embracing life and everything it has to offer. So, to her beautiful, gifted, and loving family, Peter, Irina, and Alexander, all your friends and my family, Dawn, Bren, and I, are with you in grief. We pray healing and peace come to you in its season. Katia, we remember and love you forever.
Hi, my name is Eliana Estrada, and I was one of Katia's private students. I studied with Katia since 2014, and every lesson with Katia was a truly valuable learning experience, as well as a fun and memorable opportunity to bond with her. Her approach to teaching was extremely effective and balanced. She was loving, nurturing, and incredibly supportive, but at the same time, she could also be tough, but in the best way possible. I knew that nothing gets by Katia, and if I hadn't practiced as much as I should that week, I could definitely expect her to call me out on it. And if I played something out of tune, then I was particularly in trouble. She would grimace and shake her head disapprovingly, which I secretly found kind of funny. On the other hand, when she would give me a suggestion and my playing would instantly improve, she would smile and put out her hand saying, "That'll be $100. My mom would attend my lessons too, and the three of us would have so much fun together, laughing and telling jokes and playing with her adorable dog Zippy. Once Katia started laughing, my mom and I couldn't help but join in, for her laugh and smile was infectious. These are memories I'll cherish forever. Katia would often meet me after her concerts, and when she would introduce me to other musicians as her student, I couldn't help but feel so proud and fortunate to study with such an inspiring violinist. Significantly, Katia helped me to prepare for my college auditions last year, and she was so supportive throughout the whole process. I honestly don't think I would be where I am today had it not been for Katia. Moreover, I credit Katia for my own passion for music. Watching her play, her unending love for the violin was obvious. In one note, Katia could convey all of her love, passion, and creativity, and I admired Katia not only for her love of music and her talent, but also for her spirit and her vitality for life. Since I met her, I knew I wanted to be just like her in every respect when I grow up. Sorry. She was not only my violin teacher, but she was also my mentor and someone I strive to be like. She was a truly incredible violinist, teacher and individual. I now carry a copy of the letter of recommendation Katia wrote for me in her own handwriting, as well as a photograph of the two of us in my violin case, to remind myself that she's always with me, and I hope to honor her and make her proud every time I play my violin. I love you, Katia, and it has truly been an honor and a pleasure to be your student.
Hi, everybody. I'm already crying. I'm in a room full of aunts and uncles. She was like an aunt. I'm wearing this dress for you because she loved me in it. And I wrote her a poem. It's for all of us. The Katia flower. The Katia flower is a vibrant, rare breed. To witness her bloom was a true gift indeed. Her soft pastel petals and delicate feel were not all there was to this beauty, whose stem was pure steel. Exuding a grace and dripping with style, she stood tall in the field and made us all smile. She knew to stay grounded while she reached toward the sun. She practiced fundamentals so she could also have the fun. And even though a season brings with it untimely ends, the magnificent bloom of Katia will remain alive through all her friends. So I'm just sending my love to Katia and to her family, because you're like my family.
Hello. So we're here to celebrate Katia today, and it's an honor to speak a few words about Katia. Katia and I met many moons ago over a beautiful laden table with lots of gems. It was in Santa Monica, and we both loved jewelry making. But little did she know that I picked the biggest gem of all. It was Katia. Our friendship developed quickly, and I decided to share my final letter to her with you. My dearest Katia, you have touched us all with your warm heart, bright smile, and your beautiful personality. You were a loving wife to Peter, a caring mother to Irina and Alex, and a beloved daughter. You shared a special bond with each person and made us all feel so extra special. You just had that way with people. I know over the years you developed many close relationships, some of whom came to revisit and rekindle fond memories with her in the last few months. And I couldn't go on without saying that for all the years we have known each other, you were such a dear friend. We were not sisters in blood, but we understood each other. You were always there for me through some very difficult times, and I tried my best to be there for you. I only hope I can come close to fill the shoes of all your warm gestures and caring ways. I will miss your visit to my home. As I walk through the house, you're there, with every token, gifts, and all the memories. Sorry. How lucky am I to have been such a special part of your life? You have a huge audience of loved ones, all of whom are here today. You touched so many lives, and you will be forever in our hearts. For the active life you lived, I will remember the concerts, the wedding for my son Eric when your quartet played. You and Peter came the night before Dan, my late husband, passed, and you played for him. He was your biggest fan, you know. He was so very proud of you. The holidays, the parties, the fun, how will I forever miss your resounding laughter? When your illness returned, you took me into your confidence. You reached out only to a very few. You didn't want to burden anybody. Pam and I respected your wishes and your privacy. But we did have some good times too. A special day was at the Cancer Center when Pam surprised us with her homemade poached salmon on bone china plates, just like Pam's style. And the Cancer Center had not seen anything like it. We sat there and dined like we were in a fine restaurant. The past year has not been easy, but you were always so optimistic. And Peter, you researched and researched. You were such a fighter. I know I speak for everyone when I tell you that your spirit continues to live with us. Even now as we gather here to say our final goodbyes, you will be watching over us and live in our hearts forever. We will miss you dearly. Much love, Anna.
I have a few words to say. There are many I'd like to say, but this is a celebration, and I celebrate every joy that Katia brought to all of our lives. It's not just for me, it was everybody. This is indeed a celebration of her accomplishments, her beauty, her charm, her talent, her ability to love everyone, her giving heart, her splendid attitude, her drive. Just, I can't say enough about her. I'll be here all day. And what I really want to say to everybody is when you're away from the city lights and you go into nature and you look up in the sky and you see the biggest star you've ever seen, say, "Hello, Katia." There are no goodbyes. Love changes form. It never leaves. Thank you, Katia, for being you, and thank you for her beautiful family, Irina, Alexander, and Peter. Thank you all.
Hi, my name is Penka Kuneva. I'd like to read a note from Katia's classmates at the National High School of Music, Sofia. This is the class of 1984. We will remember Katia with her smile, her kindness, and her tremendous musical talent. We lost a cherished friend, and the world lost an exceptional artist on the violin. To the grieving family, please know that Katia will live on in the memories of many people. She was an unforgettable person, the kind of person who leaves a radiant light of artistry and style in one's life. We will cherish the memories of her breathtaking high school recitals. With her powerful spirit and determination, Katia showed us how to pursue all our dreams. Please accept our deepest condolences. Our final applause is for you, Katia. And now I'd like to share my own thoughts. First of all, I'm wearing a bracelet that Katia made for my birthday, which I'll cherish forever. I was in 4th grade at the High School of Music in Sofia when I first attended Katia's violin recital at the music school. She was 2 grades ahead of me. Katia was different than the other kids. She had the most remarkable poise, inner confidence, and calmness for a 12-year-old. Her playing was so deeply musical, so mesmerizing. Lately, in the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking a lot about the years of middle school where I first experienced her artistry. I can say with a hand on my heart that my love for the violin and my love for the orchestra is from these 5th grade string orchestra recitals, and because of hearing Katia play. This is the truth. We lost touch for many years, but we reconnected in Hollywood thanks to my friend Stephen Argila, who reintroduced us to each other. Katia was always exceptionally supportive of my talent as a composer. My dream was to get a studio film and for her to be the concert master of my recording sessions in LA. She wanted this so much. We both wanted it so much. I got busy with video games where my music is produced with samples, and this dream never happened. This feeling of loss burns me so deeply. I feel such anguish and regret that I didn't get to work with her more. The only consolation I have is that her genius is immortalized on my 2 CDs. She was the concert master, soloist, and a quartet leader in these albums. I offer you her brilliant lyrical playing on a composition titled Looking Up. It's from my CD, The Woman Astronaut, and I know Katia's dream was to be an astronaut. The music is about a young girl who dreams to become an astronaut someday. And I just wanted to say you'll hear a little interview with Katia from that recording session, and then you'll hear the music with just still pictures of Katia. Katia, you're now flowing with the stars.
Some of you know that I was the music director here for 35 years at this church. I retired 5 years ago, and I don't remember when I actually met Katia. She hadn't been here very long, but Carrie Holtzman contracted musicians for us here at Beverly Hills Presbyterian at that time, and we did a lot of concerts. We had a concert series. The church choir gave a couple of concerts every year with an orchestra. The Choral Society of Southern California gave 2 or 3 concerts a year here. And we had a concert series with other things. And Carrie contracted Katia to play for me at some point. She hadn't been in this country very long. And it's an interesting thing because I don't have many memories of music in Beverly Hills Presbyterian Church. before Katia. Once she started playing here, she made a real impression on everybody, and we kept asking her back. And I remember when she started the California String Quartet, she offered to play for a fundraising event for the Choral Society. And I remember it was in a beach house in Venice, and that choir specialized in American music, and the California String Quartet did an all Barber, the Barber Quartet, and Dover Beach. I still remember that. I don't remember much else about the event, but I remember those performances. She would volunteer to play at the church. I think she was the only person of all the people I've worked with who actually asked if she could play on Sunday morning, play the offertory. I never asked her why. I suspect a lot of it had to do with this room. She loved to play in this room. It's a great room, but no one in the church cared why she wanted to do it. We were happy to have her do it. Everyone except the sopranos who sat here, and Katia would sit at the far end, and she'd put her violin on the pew next to her. And the Sundays that she played, the women didn't want to sit, nobody wanted to sit on that end because they were afraid they were going to bump into the violin and knock it off. They were terrified. But they were not terrified when she would stand up here and play. And I know that she had an impact on other people. These connections that we have are interesting, and sometimes, and I'm going to tell you something now that I hadn't planned on telling. And this table reminded me of it. My mother was a victim of Alzheimer's, and when she was institutionalized, I had to get rid of all of her furniture and things like that. And I gave this table to the church to use as a communion table. It's actually a card table, but we won't tell people that. One of the last conversations I had with my mother before she didn't really know anything, or she was carrying on conversations from her childhood thinking I was somebody else. I was visiting her, and out of the blue, she said, "Does that lady still play the violin for you at the church?" I remember that. So we've been putting up a good front here, making this a celebration of her life. But let's face it, we all miss Katia. And that feeling of loss is going to be with us for quite a while. But Irina and Alex, Peter, I'm sure that you could tell from the applause that we've had occasionally that this room is full. And I think one of the great gifts that Katia left us, besides her musicianship that goes on in recordings and things like that, one of the great gifts is this magnificent support group that we all have. Everybody look around. Just look at all the people in this church building right now. And the support group is much larger. I mean, it extends to people like my mother, who never really knew Katia personally, she just had experienced her playing. And she carried that with her when she couldn't remember her children's names, you know. And that is a gift, truly, to be celebrated.
Hi. Thank you, Neil. The story about your mom remembering Katia, I find very, very moving. I have to say, looking out at this very impressive gathering, I think Katia would be tickled and amazed. In fact, she is tickled and amazed. I can hear her. Guys, this is incredible! Katia was a star among us, as had been noted. A beautiful artist who always strove to be better in everything she did. There was her beauty, undeniable. There was her height, and if she was wearing her preferred 4 to 6 inch stilettos, she towered above most of us, certainly above me, which was the source of much joking. And of course, her magnificent playing. But Katia was never content to rest on all of these attributes. She worked her butt off. When she was preparing her audition to be concertmaster of the Hollywood Orchestra, she had a few of us up to the house to listen to her play through it. I was honored to be among them. Bruce was there electronically somehow, as I recall. I don't remember the details. And she played through it, and of course, it was fantastic. And we all know the outcome. But afterwards, Katia and I were in the kitchen. There was some food, as I recall, maybe pizza, and she decided to make a salad. And she and I were there, and she's throwing things into a bowl, and she's taking some oil and vinegar off the shelf and sprinkling it. And she turned to me and she said, "I will now make you a beautiful little salad." And that was Katia. Everything she did had to be the most beautiful it could be. The famous fashion maven writer Diana Vreeland said, "You have to give people a little spark that doesn't exist in the world." Katia understood this instinctively. When she walked out on stage at the Bowl wearing one of her gowns, she gave people that little spark. Katia and I were jewelry buddies, like a number of people here. She made these, and she has a couple of things that I made, and I had a couple of things that she made. And now those few pieces have become some of the most treasured and valuable items in my jewelry box. This is impromptu. As I've been sitting there looking at this fantastic slideshow, what struck me so much was every single photo. She's alive. She's so vibrant. She's laughing. She's exclaiming. And it's Katia. In the days and months ahead, as we all play and perform in all the places where we played and performed with Katia, Fox and Sony, Royce Hall, the Terrace Theater, and of course, the Hollywood Bowl. These stages will be just a little dimmer without the light that was Katia. But as we play, we will remember her infectious laugh, her radiant smile, and we will hold her in our hearts forever. Peter, Irena, Alexander, I will remember your wife and mother, Katia, always. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Victor Venner, and I feel almost silly talking right now. There have been so many eloquent talks and slideshows, and I knew Katia probably the least of any of you, for I only met her a year ago for the first time. And I saw her maybe in November for the last time. But in that period, she so affected me and the California Philharmonic Orchestra. It's unbelievable. She became our concertmaster after the Hollywood Bowl, but still she played our Walt Disney Concert Hall series with beauty and elegance, and sophistication, art, leadership, virtuosity. She was just absolutely a flaming individual on that stage, but not in a showy way, not in a look at me, I'm a big shot way. As a team member, as a wonderful leader of the string section, and as a wonderful colleague to me, supporting my ideas and working so well. The other thing that was just amazing is she constantly was talking to me and the orchestra management and board about ideas she had for fundraisers. Let's do something in this house. Let's do this. Let's play that. Let's do a children's concert on Mozart's birthday, so on and so forth. She just didn't know how to not give, whether it was with her art or whether it was as a volunteer. It was just amazing. And she will be remembered forever in my heart and in those of us that worked with her and in the audience that heard her play at Walt Disney. Thank you.
There's no combination of words that can be written to convey how beautiful my mother was and how much of a ripple she created in this world. My poor attempt right now doesn't even come close. She hugged warmly, she laughed loudly, she loved fiercely, and she played passionately. This woman never did anything less than 150%. From a very early age, I tested her patience. She tried every instrument with me, but I failed them all because she showed me firsthand what it takes to be great, and I knew I didn't have it in me the way she did. She taught me, you need to not only give it all of your time, but all of your heart. And to this day, there isn't anything that I am so driven by like my mom was driven by music. And even though her life was cut short, she lived the years she had fuller than most people could live in 2 lifetimes. As I grew older, I would be heartbroken by relationships or bullies in school or have a hard time at work. And I'd cry and complain to my mom. And I always thought her reaction was so callous. She'd say, "Oh, Irina, don't pay attention to it. Just let it go. It's not worth your time." And I never understood why she just didn't give me a big hug and cuddle me. But in hindsight, I now realize that she wasn't being dismissive, but instead the opposite. She had so much respect for me and revered me so much in her mind that nothing was significant enough to bring me down. She saw my self-worth and potential before I ever did, and more than I ever dreamed. She once told a friend, "Irina knows who she is," and I admire that. The last 10 years of my life, I've been trying to find out who I am and where I fit in society. And all this time, my mom knew who I was all along. Mom, you brightened every room with your pure light, and you gave me courage when I was scared. And now I'm terrified to walk this road that feels so foreign, not knowing that you won't be a part of it. To a mom whose shoes are impossible to fill, and whose legacy creates tidal waves and leaves permanent footsteps in everybody's lives. For all that you admired in me, I strive to be more like you. I love you, Mom, in your physical form and as my angel. Please watch over me, You're my best friend, and you'll live in my heart forever. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Alexander. My last name is Popov. Thank you for coming here at my mom's memorial. Friends and colleagues of my mom, we're all here to honor Miss Katia Popov, otherwise known as my mom, who I love very much. She had a wonderful life before now. We all had such good moments with my mom and your friend. She was such a good person, my mom. She was very gifted, very compassionate, kind, nice, friendly. And she never lost hope in me. She inspired me to do stuff. She inspired me to have a nice job, to go to UCLA, to do good things at school. She was a very nice person. She did stuff that not that many other people would do. Like, she played the violin in a very nice, awesome way. I know other people play the violin, but she did it in a way like no one else would do it, and it really made me happy. And she taught me how to do certain stuff. One thing she tried to teach me was to play the piano, and I consider myself a good piano player. She taught me how to read, and she was a good reader. She helped me on my homework whenever I had trouble on it. She did a lot of good stuff for me and inspired me, was very nice, helped me in bad situations, she did. And I don't really know what I'm going to do without her, but I can recover, and I will keep her in my heart and remember her and everything she did for me. I will recover from this. We all loved her, and that's what matters. We are all sorry for her loss. 3 years ago, she got cancer, a painful cancer. For 3 years, she fought it to her last breath and managed to succeed as our beloved friend and my mom, and your mom too, sis. As we hoped she will. We hoped that she would survive the cancer, and she did for 3 years, and we were grateful for that. But in the 3rd year, 2 weeks ago, the cancer silenced her pain, but also silenced her, and she passed away. We're all sorry for this, and I'm sorry too. But we will remember her from that day, and from this day on, forever. We will remember her forever, and we will keep her in our hearts to remember. Today, we will not just cherish my mom, but we will also cherish her memories. We love her very much. Thank you.
My trust is that this day you've been able to see and feel the blessings of Katia's life reflected in one another. Let that continue to inspire you. Let it deepen you. Let it move you. Will you please pray with me? Lord, we thank you for Katia. We entrust her into your hands until all is made fully right in you again. We pray that in Christ's name. Amen.
I'm Pam Gates. I am Katia's dear friend. We're at the Popov family house today with the post celebration of her wonderful life, and we're all teary and sad, but it's great having friends together and talking about her life. I love the family. I wish them the very, very best going forward. It's going to be hard, but my greatest wish is that they are strong and go forward, and I want to be there to help any way I can. And I loved Katia. There's no one like her ever, and we're all energized and touched by her life, and we'll keep that with us forever. So I'm so glad I knew her.
Well, first of all, my name is Lisa, in case anyone watching this doesn't know who I am. But I've known Katia for many years, from the LA Chamber Orchestra initially, and when she used to drive around in this VW Bug that she had painted with ginormous daisies, I think. Anyway, that made an impression on me. And we spent many wonderful lunches laughing and laughing and laughing, which everybody knows is her great trademark, her wonderful laugh. And most recently, more recently, the video where she's playing on the rock in the orange dress, when she posted it on Facebook, I saw her at work the next day, and I said, Katia, how did you get up there? And she said, I climbed. And I thought, well, that's Katia. She's on top, and she's climbed, and she's done it all by herself, and that's how I remember her.
I know Katia because I'm a member of the LA Philharmonic, and Katia used to sub with the orchestra, and what that means is she wasn't a regular, but she would play with us often, and we went on a lot of tours with her. She brought a lot of joy to our tours. On tour, you really get to know somebody a lot better than just at home, because you're in the dressing rooms together and you socialize after concerts. And she was always so lovely to everybody and funny, and we had great moments of laughter and just good times. Plus, she was such an amazing violinist. So I'll always remember that about Katia.
Hi, my name is Desi Freeman. I know Katia and Peter through my sister, Penka Kuneva. And I met Katia very early when I arrived to Los Angeles, probably 2001. She was always so beautiful, so full of life. I admired her skills as a violinist, her popularity within the LA music community, as well as her vibrant and enjoyable and loving spirit. She was always so nice when she saw me running in between rehearsals. Just an amazing woman. Last year I was at her birthday party, and she was so sweet and so happy, and I was hoping that she's done with the cancer and she can go on with life. And that is the last memory I have of Katia. So loving, vibrant, wonderful, kind, beautiful, beautiful woman, and so talented, amazing. I'm so honored to know her and to know her family.
So to Katia, Alex, Irina, Peter, you guys are an extension of my family, to say the least. Being here, I feel like it's an extension of my own family home. I feel that comfortable here, and it's just always been a part of my heart. You guys will always be a part of my heart. I don't have one story to tell about Katia because there are so many stories. The music of her laughter is going to be ringing through the rooms of my household for the rest of my life. And I was her Alyssy Kissy. She used to call me Alyssy Kissy because my email is Alyssy Kissy, which is a name that was given to me when I was 17. So every time I used to see Katia, whether it was going to work with my dad and I would see her on the scoring stage or at a party or the Hollywood Bowl, it was Alyssy Kissy, Alyssy Kissy, and we would just come and hug and kiss each other, and just the joy and the buoyancy of you, Katia, is going to stay with me forever and put a smile on my face in random moments as I drive or living my life. You're just going to come in and all through me with a beautiful smile, and the smile that was you. And I love you. I love you all as a family. We are always here for you, no matter what. And you're all a part of our hearts.
Katia, I love you. But I know that you're here. I was talking to you today. I was outside being a hooligan having a cigarette. And I said, Katia, where the hell are you? This is the most amazing party Peter's put on. And the kids have put on for you. And all of a sudden this huge butterfly in bright yellow passed right in front of me, and I thought, there you are. You will never be out of our lives. I have to tell you, we're crazy about you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of everything you've done. Please come and have dinner with us next week. I absolutely love you. Be happy. You're very brave, but please be very happy in everything you do. I love you, Katia. Bye for now.
Katia, I spoke to you earlier today, and you know that because I'm going to relate the story to everybody who's watching this. When I left the church and driving up Rodeo Drive, coming up to Sunset, I put a channel on my car, movie music, which I always told you I listened to. Anyway, they had Forrest Gump playing, and it was very boisterous, the chase scene in Forrest Gump. And it was a little too loud, and I wanted to have a chat with you, so I pushed the volume down on the car, down to 0. And I said to you, Katia, so tell me, what did you think of the service today? Because you have to have been so thrilled that so many people came out and so many people wanted to be there for you. And the love in the room was magnificent, and the whole energy of everybody celebrating the beauty that was your life was there. And then I want to know what you thought. I would love to just get your reactions. I know you're probably laughing right now hysterically that I'm asking you this, and what about Alex? How did you think he was so amazing? I've never seen an 11-year-old child with such poise and naturalness in front of an audience, engaging them by speaking to them, not looking down at his notes. And as I was asking you this question, the volume went right up on my car, and there's that Forrest Gump music playing again. Now, I know that you have some powers over there to sometimes electronically influence things, because I watch some of those shows where they have electronic things flickering and the lights go on and off, so I know that was you. And I know you were there, and I know you loved every minute of it. And everybody else loved every minute of it and loves you still. And because of that love, you will always be around us, always. We love you. That's all I have to say.
I'm Joel Iwataki. I'm Pam Gates' boyfriend. I'm a recording engineer for music for films. And that's how I first met Katia. Working on a film, she played a solo. It was the most beautiful, warm, rich sound and so much soul. And also, I found out she's Bulgarian. I've been interested in Eastern European folk music for a long time, so I used to bug her about Bulgarian folk music, and I was interested in going to Bulgaria for a folk music festival. She was not interested at all in any of that, but we really enjoyed each other's company. So one time she said, "I'm doing a concert. I'm playing a concert at Zipper Hall at the Coburn School. Why don't you come?" So I went to the concert and I went by myself, and I'm looking for seats, and I saw another violinist, Tiffany, who I knew, who was sitting with a attractive blonde woman who I had noticed before, so I thought, well, maybe I'll go sit there with them, and it turned out to be Pam. That's where we first met, and Katia's always been special in my heart for that. But then I also contracted, after she did, I contracted a tumor which was taken out. And she's always been just a huge inspiration to me in how her spirit was so strong. She fought. I know she was just going through therapy, and she would go run in the hills, run for a mile in the hills, and she just didn't want to give up. And such a beautiful, beautiful spirit.
Katia has been a very dear and close friend of ours. We've known her for almost 8 years, and she has been a big part of our life. We shared food together. We've been to each other's homes. We spent time together a lot. We celebrated holidays together. And I can say we've been blessed to have such a friend in our lives. She will be missed, and she will be missed all the time. And our love will always be and stay for her through our lives.
Katia, without the musicians, we all would be nothing. I mean, the composers would be nothing. Then the orchestrators would be nothing. The engineers would be nothing. And us studio executives, zero. So, for being a strong, beautiful, lovely, inspiring, always happy and always smiling, wonderful, brilliant musician, thank you.
My name is Penka Kuneva. I'm a composer. Kate, the year is 1977. I'm in 4th grade and you're in 6th grade. You played the violin at school recitals at Софийското музикално училище with such poise. I will never forget how you played with deep musicality, and the magic that you had on the violin has impressed me so much that I love the violin with all my heart ever since then because of your playing. And I also remember the orchestra of Emilianov where you were playing, and ever since 5th grade I loved the orchestra so very much, and that was the defining memory of my 5th grade, you playing the violin and playing in the orchestra. I will miss you so much with all of my heart in all of my future sessions, and it will be my duty to get a studio film because you so much wanted us to work on studio films together, but I didn't get one, so I could invite you to be my concert master. And now this is going to be my destiny and my mission. I miss you so much. You are wonderful. You are one of a kind, my friend Katia.
My name is Daisy Lang, and I was a pioneer of women boxing in Europe, 10-time world champion in 3 different weight classes, in 3 different sports, karate, kickboxing, and professional boxing. It was a big pleasure that I met Katia at a private party in Beverly Hills, and the owner introduced us because I was born in Bulgaria. I grew up in Germany and I live here now. I would say it was a love for the first looking because we both laughed. I met a wonderful person with a big heart, very talented artist who gives so much passion in her music, who touch your heart and clean you from the all bad energy and stress in life. Such an inspired person who was coming from my country, Bulgaria. It was a pleasant to meet the family, and I'm very happy that I'm in town to be in this moment when she gone. But I would say, Katia, you will be missed and we will never forget you, and you will touch the heart for so many people forever. Thank you.
Cool. Ще говоря на български език. I'll speak in Bulgarian just because Katia was one of the best Bulgarian women in United States. I came in United States in 2000, and I met her a little bit later because of her husband, Petr Petrov. He's my friend, and I met her in the church, the same church which we were today, and to say goodbye to her. And she's one very, very nice woman, a deep professional, always nice with the people, never say no to anybody who asks her for something. I really like her, and I just want to try to continue in Bulgarian. Днес е ден, в който изпращаме Катя някъде там, в един по-добър свят, където ще бъде чувана нейната цигулка винаги. Един прекрасен човек, една прекрасна жена, прекрасна майка и съпруга и приятелка, мога да кажа, и най-вече изключителен професионалист и много способен музикант. Жена, която, понеже съм писал за нея, ще кажа, спомените са ми, че тя е започнала на 4 годишна да свири. Това толкова години ти да бъдеш толкова близо до музиката и никога да не се откажеш. За съжаление не можа да отиде на концерта си в България, но остави една дълбока следа в историята на българската музика по целия свят, в историята на американската музика, американската филмова музика. Искам да завърша с благодаря на Господ, че има кой да продължи за нея. Благодаря на Господ, че ни е дал възможност да я познаваме. Вечна и памет и нека да бъдат благословени нейното семейство, нейните деца. Всичко най-добро. Thank you very much.
Hello. So today, I'm Alexander Popov, and today I'm going to talk about my mom. My mom was a very nice, kind woman who I loved really much. She was a great mom. She was very enthusiastic. She inspired me to do good stuff, go to UCLA, read books. She did good things for me in the house that no one else would do. No one else would do. She was really helpful. She played violin, she was a good violin player. She made good food. She helped me in problems or situations. When I was in trouble or scared, she helped me get out of those fears. And I love her. She did good stuff for me. She did stuff my dad would never do. Like, she took me to shops. My dad would never take me to a shop. My mom was just a really nice, awesome woman. She was compassionate. She helped me. She took me to places. It's like I can't live without her. She even taught me how to do stuff. She taught me how to play the piano. She taught me how to read. My dad would never do that. She was most gifted in most stuff, like playing the violin and piano, making food. Like, my dad, would never do anything that my mom could do for me. He never found time. My mom found time for me and played with me, which I'm really grateful for. My mom even made playdates for me, and my dad would never make a playdate for me. Come on. My mom was a very nice woman, and I love her so much. But she died. But I will recover from her death, and I'm really sad that she died. But I will keep her in my heart. I love her. I'll keep her. And I'll remember her lessons and everything she did for me. Because I love my mom and everything she did for me. The honest, compassionate, nice, reasonable, inspiring person ever. It was very nice. And did good things. Inspired me to go to UCLA, which I still want to do. I don't know how I'm going to live without her. She did stuff for me. She, supported me. Yeah. Supported me in some stuff. Most stuff. No one else in my family would do. She's such a super good person. My family did certain stuff. She's my mom. I came from her. Now she's gone. And I'll recover, and I love her, and I'll keep her in my heart.
My name is Katia Popov, and I play violin. I've been with the chamber orchestra since 1991, and it's been really, really great. I'm from Bulgaria. I was born in Sofia, and I finished school there. Then I went to study in Paris. And after that, I came to study here at UCLA with Professor Alexander Traeger, who's also a concertmaster of the LA Philharmonic. So, lots of studying. I grew up in a family that music was there all the time. My father's a professional oboe player, and it was just, he would take me to rehearsals and concerts all the time since I was maybe 1.5 or 2. So it was always, I was going to be a violinist, and I wanted to be a violinist. That was the instrument that I wanted to play. Well, violin's very expressive, first of all. It's probably the closest instrument to a human voice. So it's really, really beautiful, and I wanted to play it, and it's challenging. And it looks great. I looked at the violins in the orchestra, and they're sitting in the first row, and I said, that's where I want to be, exactly there. So it was really love at first sight. A lot of memories, so many performances, but I just, in general, to say I love performing. I love performing for the audience. I know that it's very exciting for people to hear classical music. It's very unique, and it can take you to many places, and it can take you away from daily life and daily hustle and bustle, and just I think that classical music and music in general is like a shower for your soul. If you want to cleanse your soul, go to a concert and listen to some music, and you will see that you will come out of there a completely different person. And I love this about music, because it can just transform your day. And the next time you go to a concert, think of it that you're maybe your own director to your own movie, and the music is there as a background, and you can just make up scenery and characters. It depends on what you're listening, and this will give you opportunity to really relax and enjoy and wander your mind to wherever you want to go. It's always there to support you and take you and help you in your journey.
It was a real famous funeral which will be in my heart until end of my life. Thank you very much for the organizing everything. But it was Katia had really deserved to have such a funeral and memorial day. Thank you and all the organizers.